in our hearing. It says that hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. So from that simple reading, we can see that God doesn't get, doesn't faint, doesn't get weary, but it was for us as an example, and you can consider the remaining bit for a deeper understanding. And now, when you go to the Monday section, is the Sabbath before Sinai, and there we have the Exodus 16. We remember that the Israelites were in the slavery in Egypt for 400 years, as it had been prophesied long before to Abraham. And now they were out of Egypt and now on their way to Canaan, where they took 40 years. That's equivalent to more than 2,000 successive weekly Sabbaths. So we see that in the wilderness, there was that miracle of manna. That reminded them of the pattern of 6 days of work and the seventh day being a day of rest. And when you consider that Exodus 16, you're going to see among many that each day God would provide for them. On Sabbath, a double portion, and no manna was given on Sabbath, but to the dismay of Moses, some went also on Sabbath to look for the manna, but did not find it. You can continue with that and read as you will consider that day. And there are also some questions there, that which day is the preparation day for Sabbath? Which day of the week is the Sabbath? Where did the Sabbath come from? What kind of day should the Sabbath be? Is the Sabbath a day of fasting? Is the Sabbath a test of loyalty to God? And I know during our lesson discussions, the questions will have. And a covenant sign is the Tuesday section. There is actually going back to the beginning, to where we had our key text, and being a sign, we see also in Ezekiel 20 verse 12 and 20, Sabbath being a sign, a covenant sign between like there is between me and you throughout your generations at that particular point in the context of the Israelites. And so it was more of a sign pointing towards the messianic redemption. So in totality, being a sign of God's saving grace. It is not a sign of salvation by works. You can continue exploring that. Then when you go to the Wednesday section, you find the sign of sanctification. And you can consider Exodus 31 verse 13, which says, "You shall keep my Sabbaths, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I, the Lord, sanctify you." So there we see clearly that in addition, the Sabbath has the significance as a sign of sanctification. And as we come to almost the end of that week, remembering the Sabbath, that is Exodus 20 verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, a sign for humanity to remember. For just from the word remember, we see that simply shows that it was something that was right there in the past. And as we have seen from origins on the Monday, on the Sunday section, you can see clearly that it has the origins in creation. But along the because of that time in Egypt, maybe the observance of the Sabbath had been forgotten as a weekly day of rest and a special communion with God. And they were being called at this point to remember the Sabbath. And also on that day, you will consider that remembering the Sabbath also points us forward, in that the person who remembers the keeping of the Sabbath as a promising, rich, and meaningful future with the Lord of the Sabbath. So we understand that the covenant being a relationship between God and humankind, then the Sabbath, which can help strengthen that relationship, comes into specific prominence. We remember God as our creator, and people also remember God's gracious acts of salvation. And at the end of the week, uh, now towards the end on the Friday section, as we had seen during our lesson covenant, we saw that Ten Commandments, the first four commandments talk about the relationship between man and the human relationship. The fifth talk about the human relationships. Just like the time in the Garden of Eden,